what's going on, guys. Back in January, we were told by Dr. Stephen Greer that more than likely within about 30 days, sometime in February, full disclosure would be all over the news. Well, as of now, the middle of April, we're still waiting on the news to start talking about full disclosure. But in the meantime, I'm going to disclose some amazing video footage with you guys, unlike anything you've ever seen before. So if they're not going to talk about it, I will. We're going to start off with the really good stuff. If you were a skeptic, you may not be after watching this video footage. Here we go. Looks like Stephen Greer was right, but nobody's talking about it. He said it would be all over the news, but this won't be. Maybe you guys can share it amongst your friends and family, and we'll just keep it at that. But this video here was sent in by Patrick Merlo. I'm waiting to hear back from Patrick on the exact location, as this occurred less than 24 hours ago. This is quite amazing. There's a lot going on right here that you don't see yet, but I'm going to point it out to you. It has a little bit of narration with it. Notice the light right here, but there's something else in the video that I'm going to have to point out to you guys. I'm going to zoom in on it. There's two things here. The obvious multicolored light that's going to get bright right in here, and then you're going to see two lights come out from the top and the bottom. And coming up, you're going to hear Patrick say something about lights coming out of that light right there. Watch.
You see the stuff falling down? Did you see the stuff falling down?
What happened?
There were two witnesses. Patrick was running the camera. He had another witness with him. That was when he noticed a light come down here and a light go up this way. So if this light were coming from the ground, when those two lights moved, this would have disappeared. So that tells us that this light is originating from the sky. But there's something right up here. Looks like a dark ship. Check it out. It's right here. This is really impressive video footage. Watch close. You're going to see a light come out the bottom and the top. Gets real bright. See the light come out the bottom?
Did you see the stuff falling down? Did you see the stuff falling down?
Then it turned off. Okay, check this out. It starts to get really good. Notice the light come out the bottom?
You see the stuff falling down?
And there was one that came out the top. Here it is again in slow motion. There's the light there, and there was one up here at the top. I know it's difficult to see. It's going to get better. Trust me. Watch up here. You're going to see a light there and down here. There's a black craft sitting up here, too, that I'm going to point out to you guys here. There went the light out the bottom. Okay, watch close. This thing is going to get very bright. There's a light that drops out the bottom, and then one that goes across the top. See the black craft sitting up there? Are you serious right now? I mean, this is good stuff, guys. This is about as good as it gets. There's something sitting right there in the nighttime sky. It's not a cloud. It's not an airplane, obviously. It's not a helicopter because it would have to have lights on. There was the light there, and there was the light there. Okay, coming up right here, you're going to see the two lights. See them? One came out.
You see the stuff falling down?
One came out the bottom. One came out the top.
Did you see the stuff falling down?
Notice that right there. I think this is the maestro right there. I think this thing right here, whatever it is orchestrating all of this light movement. There's a craft sitting up there. I'm going to pull it forward so you guys can see it. It's getting darker. This one here turned out okay, but there is a craft sitting right there in the sky. The next one, you can see it right there. What is this bright light? It has something to do with this. And coming up in the next video, you guys are going to see a craft sitting in the sky that looks exactly like this one. I know this one's a little tough to see. It was tough for me to see too. In fact, it was tough to pull forward. There's a circle right here that's attached to the bottom of that dark craft that has no lights. So if this were from the Earth, it would have to have aviation lights on it, right? I mean, that's just pretty basic protocol. It appeared to be creating some sort of an energy field. Those rings that you see right there aren't necessarily a direct side effect of oversaturation. Those rings were more than likely in the sky, and this light was putting off some sort of electromagnetic energy. This craft right here, I think, was orchestrating the entire show. There was a light that came out the top and a light that came out the bottom, and then the primary light stayed in the middle for whatever reasons, whatever it was doing, changing color, going from blue to pink to purple, and then right there was a good example. See the lights coming out the top and bottom? One more time. Right there. See this one here come out the bottom and go that direction, and there's also one that comes out the top right up here. So that tells us that that light source was in the sky. It was not originating from the ground. Right there and right there. Two lights came out of the center of the very bright light. And see the rings right there? That's not from oversaturation. In fact, this is the original format. There's the craft right there. And notice what looked like waves coming out from the center of the light. There it dimmed, so it's clearly not overly saturated. Now it got bright. There went the light out the bottom.
Stuff falling down.
And then there went the light out the top. And coming up is another one. And it looks like a version of what we just saw without the cloud cover, unlike anything they had ever seen. The first part of this video has narration by Laura Ann out of Austin, Texas. Goes back to March 3rd of 2025.
I don't know, it's really sporadic. That's weird.
This particular video segment was in 4K, and as you heard Laura Ann say, she said that's weird. Once she noticed this thing sitting in the sky over there, she zoomed in on it, then I zoomed in on it. I converted this video into 4K format to get a much better look at this thing. We're going to go in super tight, and notice its personality in the sky. It's dark. It's about the same size as the object that we saw in the previous video. And it also has a circle on the front of it. However, it's blinking in this video. It's stationary, not making any sound. It's too small to be a blimp, too big to be a drone, in my opinion. It's got one sporadic light on the left-hand side. It's just hovering there in the nighttime sky above Austin, Texas. Looks about the same color of black in the previous video, about the same size. What is going on? Makes you wonder, is this what Stephen Greer was talking about? Will this make it to the news cycle? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But this is some exceptional video footage, guys. Some of the best and most obvious I think I've ever seen. That's some sort of a craft sitting in the nighttime sky above Austin, Texas. And these people were very taken back by it. They stopped what they were doing to film the sky where this thing was at. And it does have similarities to the video that we just saw. However, the only difference, it has one sporadic blinking light. It also has the ability to maintain the same position in the sky, just like the object in the previous video. It's not moving, not making any sound. What is it doing? Where did it come from? And coming up here in just a couple of seconds, right here, modified, and we're going to zoom in even closer. And you can get a better look at this thing. Are you serious right now? There it is. I think this is what Mr. Greer was talking about. Stephen Greer, they're here. Look at that. Doesn't get much better than that, guys. Other than E.T. himself stepping out of the craft and waving at us, I guess. That is incredible. What is that thing? Great catch by Laura Ann out of Austin, Texas. There, I paused it to show that light right there. It's kind of unusual. It doesn't look like a typical aviation light. It's kind of big, and it's solo. It's the only sporadic light on this thing. There's no other lights anywhere on the craft. And that's clearly a solid object. Especially in this format, you can tell there's a solid object there. You wouldn't be able to see anything right there. There was undoubtedly something mysterious in the skies above Austin, Texas on the night of March 3rd of 2025. And here's proof. Video footage sent in by Laura Ann from Austin, Texas. I touched base on something yesterday that I wanted you guys to take a look at. I shared a picture with you guys that was shared with me by Bob out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida. These images were taken on 4/11 of 2025. Notice up here at the top of the photograph, there was something that appeared in the photograph, and this is a small video, and stayed right there. This is an intercoastal waterway in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Check this out.
1, 2, 3.
What is that thing? See it? I know it's kind of hard to miss. It's right there. What is that? The first segment was a small video clip, and it was still there. That's not hanging by some sort of a thread above a canopy because there's no canopy there. This was in the sky. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But how is it just kind of hanging around in the sky? All of these are modified formats. I was just trying to pull forward a possible feature or two. There was something down here that looked unusual. It looked like a disc or something on the bottom of this thing. It's definitely not a bird, not an airplane, not a helicopter, not a drone, not a kite. something hanging around in the sky above the intercoastal waterways above New Smyrna Beach, Florida. If you guys have any idea what that may be, leave a comment down below in the comment section. Coming over here to the homepage of the website, today's feature photo, big jumbo orange clouds sent in by Kelly out of Logan, West Virginia. And as we talked about yesterday, the possibility of a G3 geomagnetic storm, it did intensify to a G3 here in the last 12 hours. It's still ongoing right now as I do this video. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, we're starting to see an increase in sunspots in active regions turning towards the Earth. Looking at the planetary K-index, there have been no major solar flares in the last 24 hours. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano, showing some unusual activity up here at Soda Butte. Those red vertical lines represent earthquake activity. However, there's a complete absence of data other than that. So I think that's some sort of a digital artifact. Other than that, pretty quiet at the supervolcano caldera. And looking at the Schumann resonance, that's definitely not the case. It has been in overdrive the last 16 hours. You can see several major spikes, and there's one underway right now as I do this video. Thanks for the photos and videos, guys. Keep them coming. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports@mrmbb333.com. If you guys have any videos you'd like to share that are too large to attach to the email, come over here to the homepage of the website. Look for this red tab that says Have a Large Video. It's a Dropbox. Drag and drop your videos into the Dropbox. Please include your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.